When I was a kid, I remembered that there were certain things that connected us because we knew that every family put stockings over the chimney, or every family, sang these particular songs, or every family did, went to church on Christmas Eve, or whatever it was that were the traditions that you had around a holiday that you went like, oh, we are connected because we do the same arguably stupid things in this particular time of year. I think I miss the parts that are ritualized. I miss those things that are, the things that you always do that thing on, you always have ham at Easter, you always do that, whatever. There are all these ludicrous things. And so I've loved the fact that there are more traditions around Groundhog's Day than I have around any other holiday.
If I recall correctly, Mara said that the party was actually a tradition from before we lived here, but I would have no kind of memory of that.
I grew up in Portland, and I grew up on the west side of town, right on the edge of Forest Park, up on Thurman Street, and it came time to go to college, and I went to college in the east, to Smith and Wesleyan, and I was assumed I'd never come back. There was a bit of a legacy here because my grandmother, my mother, and my aunt were kind of a matriarchy in Portland. They were this sort of power triad of women, and I was, by them and everybody else, viewed as the heir apparent to this triad. And frankly, that's a legacy nobody wants. Once I married my husband, who is from Philadelphia, and we had children, we'd come home to visit, and every time we came home to visit, it was like, it just, everything about raising children out here seemed easier. So suddenly the matriarchy was not such an impediment. And so I came out with one twin, and in the span of the time that I came out with that one twin, the old woman who'd lived in this house since I was born, I'd known the family that lived here since I was born, she passed away in a nursing home. We heard that she passed away. We came in, we did a video of the house, and I sent it to my husband saying, we should just buy this house. And when the family got together, they said, look, that's great. We'd love to have you just have the house. We don't want to hassle with it. And we got it for a screaming deal, but nothing was done to it. It had not been touched. There was no kitchen. It was a room with plugs. And so we had to come in and do everything necessary to make it a reasonable house. But it's been phenomenal and well worth it. And now 20 years of a party has happened here. And if for no other reason, that's a good benefit.
I was part of the original planning committee. We got together and came up with this idea of having a party sort of in the middle of winter when not a whole lot of things were going on. New Year's Eve was gone, and Christmas was gone. And we haven't got to spring yet, so we came up with this idea to have a party.
The first year was the Groundhog Nickel. Groundhog Uber Alles in Groundhog We Trust. We didn't know at that point it was going to be a phenom. We didn't know it was going to last for 20 years.
The early ones, people would come. There was a woman that would bring cheese and crackers, and she would carve this block of cheese into a groundhog, and she would bring that. There was people that got bars of soap and ground them into groundhogs. People were doing very strange things. This guy did a very long soliloquy on shadows once. It was awesome. And just the creativity that showed up.
We had one year where we called people to deliver art. So this is by Maddie Goodrich, who now lives on Molokai in Hawaii. This is Hog Washington. And this is, of course, a self-portrait by Hoglo Picasso.
I think I made a pipe cleaner groundhog, which was really kind of stupid looking, but give him buck teeth. It looked kind of funny. And it just seemed like by the second and third party, I mean, there was like 150 people that were showing up to this thing.
If you pick a time of year that's really just about the worst low of a long, drab winter, and you're going to do something that's just for the sake of fun, and that's, and invite people to be, creative and, join in this enterprise. And, I think it's what makes it special, because they have such a high caliber of friends that are really interesting and diverse and creative, and it's just the perfect formula for me for making something really memorable and worthwhile.
We thought, well, it'll be kind of a challenge year after year to think of a theme. It's never been a challenge. Never. Like every year we can immediately think of the next year's theme.
We have had great hogs in space. We have had great hogs in history, including Mary Hog Toinette. We've had steampunk Saturni. This year it's Hog Apocalypse. I'm not sure if it was born out of the election or maybe something even more sinister.
This year the theme is Hog Apocalypse. We committed to that last year. We did not know where we would be in space and time by this time. But I can only say that we were probably prescient. We just knew. We would look at this, woo, we knew.
There is so much that is absolutely constant about it. I mean, we change themes every year, but that mostly just distinguishes certain events, but it really doesn't feel like it's changed all that much, and a lot of that has to do with how much it's bound up in this same house and the same decorations and the same rituals, things like that.
And another great thing I've always loved about the party that also just obviously just keeps changing and morphing is it's very multi-generational. It's never a party for just one group. There's been like older people, there have been kind of young parents that have become older parents.
Portland is a very networky town. I mean, it's a very big, small town. Everybody seems to know everybody, so just right off the bat, word of mouth, a lot of people show up. And if you get them here, it's a great party. And so then they keep coming back.
For us, we see the other side of that, all of the preparation and the sweat and the tears, and there's always some out of sweat and tears, and sometimes there's blood. Don't ask me too much about the blood.
Hooray for Hoggywood, that was sort of redux of Hollywood movies. We've had Hog Coming, that was, men, women, and children coming in prom dresses. One year in particular, when the New Orleans flood happened and all of that went down, we had Marmot Gras. So Marmot Gras, we raised something like $900 at the party for relief of the people in New Orleans that were suffering in those horrible stadiums and, had really just gotten the short end of the stick.
I think, to a certain extent, I will always view the party from the perspective of like a 6-year-old wandering around in a giant sea of people that I hypothetically know, hypothetically neighbors, but at the same time it's 600 people some years, so I will recognize 120 faces oftentimes. And it's like, whenever I'm down there and whenever I think of Groundhog Day, I will always think of myself as being about half the height of everyone else there, and it being an absolute press of people. And I'll think about it going on forever and ever and ever and ever, even though with age a night lasts a lot less time.
I think I think maybe my skills left.
This is the annual hoisting o' the sail, which every year we think we've done it 19 times before. We should know how to do this, but every year I swear it's a totally different set of issues. So right now we have Nicholas and Malachi under the tarp holding it up so it doesn't just drag the side of the house off. It's this giant double tarp. Now, I don't know, there's something happening up on the roof, but the good news is that today there isn't a ton of wind. There's some wind, which is always very exciting because it's like
occasional strong gust of wind.
Yeah, and it goes. Hold on to the ladder, Gordon, when it starts to blow like that.
I don't think you need a stick.
Stick? There's a broomstick here.
No, Mama. Don't. No, Mama.
No, that's not gonna.
No.
Okay. You gotta come down just a little bit.
We'll keep the.
Okay, come on down.
All right.
It's kind of staying up there for now. I don't know whether it will.
If we're having hogpocalypse.
Then it won't happen.
Last year wasn't.
Hogabilly.
Last year was Hoggabilly.
Yeah. What would go wrong?
Well, but David Bowie died in January.
But
Yeah.
he died right after.
No, he
No, he
died
died
a
in
year
January.
after. So
So
something
then-
really bad is about to happen to a prominent rockabilly musician right now.
No, I think it means the apocalypse already happened and we're all dead right now.
No.
We
I think
usually.
more like table.
Yeah, we
lamps.
put the table lamp on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can leave these in.
Okay.
These will be actually good.
corner little.
But what you have for like the performance?
Illuminati.
You know, like have them at the sides, like lighting the stage. These are good. Yeah, there's one.
Mara, definitely. She is a marvel when it comes to talking to people and getting to know people and organizing people into things.
They're all very, very creative people.
And very warm.
Yeah, very warm, very open, very inviting to everyone.
Well, I was just talking to the guy, and he just apparently got a piñata and didn't bedeck it. He didn't quite understand the point because he's decided to come to the party without his kids. He's all excited for that, but he didn't really do a piñata. It's okay. It's all good. It's ironical. It's like a girl in a blue dress. We're gonna figure out a spin to it, and it's gonna be fantastic.
What you really don't know is this, is that we just have the name for the Groundhog Party once a year, sometime in early February. It's pretty much every week. I've got to admit. I mean, our livers are suffering. Our voices are strained from all the songs. And my ears are blistered from listening to Mira McLaughlin play that bloody accordion and the banjo.
The tradition itself was initially started as a joint effort between, I sense it started as a joint effort between Mara and her brother, Garrett, more commonly known to my brother, my sister, and I as Uncle Rabbit Pinhead.
There you go. You can take off your coat. It goes in the back room if you want. It's warm after being so cold. Garrett McLaughlin was an evil genius. He died, must be 6 years ago. But at the outset of the party, you know, on my suggestion from Ann Marcus, he took it and ran with it. He was just, he invented some of the long-standing traditions with the party. He suggested the muskies. We got the first year, I tried this year to get it again for the 20th, but he got 500 sets of buck teeth that you sort of, you know, that were flat, you put on your teeth.
A lot of the imagery and iconography and sense of humor that goes along with Groundhog Day, that I associate with Groundhog Day, has its roots in his particular kind of weirdness.
I think the first party we had, I can't remember, but I believe Garrett, who is Mira's brother, God bless his soul, was the original stump warden. We had officers. There was the stump warden, and there was the burrow master.
He was the ultimate punster. So we'd sit around and talk about, well, what about that? And he would just, he was brilliant and hilariously funny.
The next year, I definitely remember detecting a certain amount of sort of second wake for him.
Green Eggs and Hog actually was, after my brother passed away, he was famous for wearing stripy hosiery. And so we did Green Eggs and Hog, and there must have been 100 people here in striped stockings. And there's some amazing pictures of, you know, legs of all kinds of people lined up wearing these striped stockings. And it was as much an, you know, it was an homage to him. Yeah, so Garrett continues to be with us at every one of these parties. The great thing, the year Garrett died at Green Eggs and Hog, we had it was this like world famous string band, sort of old time band. So they were up here and everybody was dancing and doing their business. When the party ended at like 2 o'clock in the morning, the band stopped. They stopped playing. Everybody cleared the floor. The band started clearing away their stuff. And I'm standing here talking to the band. And for no reason, because nobody was dancing, the mantle, this giant heavy mantle, fell off. I mean, it's probably a, I don't know, 100-pound piece of wood and stuff. It fell off. It didn't hit any of the equipment. It didn't hurt anything. But we're like, oh my God, everybody's okay. And then we could see sticking out of the wall, there was this weird thing. There was this weird baby picture, like from, I don't know, 1910. This weird baby. And so we called it the wall baby. But we did decide that it was Garrett saying at the first groundhog party after his death that it was a good one. The stickers are called muskies. They were invented the very first year of the party, and groundhogs only know each other by their anal scent glands. They don't ever recognize each other's faces. So, as people come in the party, they have, by someone they don't know, they have this applied to their backside so that everybody knows each other. It's like having name tags at the party. But the hilarious thing is mostly that you grab somebody's backside as they walk in. So somebody is like, oh, what a lovely, whoa! Could I just give me your ass? You know how this works. Hello, my name is Scratch here. The scratch and sniff and you don't say anything. Can I have your bottom, please? That's the kind of party you're at. It's gonna be weird every minute, okay? Oh no, you gotta keep it on your bottom.
I feel better.
It's gotta keep it on your bottom. Now can hear me. Yes, you can. Okay. All right. Now, I'd like to do a little quick poll here. Who is here for the first time to a Groundhog Day party? Okay. All right. Everybody else, look for those people and really let them have it. Okay. All right. Who's been here twice? Who's been here 3 times? Who's been here 4 times? Who's been here 5 times?
Maybe.
Yeah, probably. I think you're 5. I've had a lot of people say, "Oh my God, you have this party and you invite just all kinds of people to this party. Why? But you don't know these people. They come into your house and it's busy. They could just do bad things." I was like, "But they don't. 99% of all human beings on the planet are good." And that's what I get from my matriarchy, is this sense of, you know, there's no vulnerability that is too great for the goodness of people. So this party has been going, we think, for 20 years, but some of the years are a little fuzzy here. It went for about 5 years before in Boston at Ann's house, and I stole...
And before that in the Bay Area, so 30 years.
I stole the party from her. To be fair, and I have to say this, my friend Ann Marcus, who I met in Boston, I met her because I flew on a plane, transcontinental, with her mother, who said, "Oh, you're so fabulous, you should meet my daughter." And I went, "Yeah, okay, sure," like you always do when you meet people. And 2 weeks later, after I got back in Boston, I got this call from somebody saying,
"Hi, this is Ann Marcus, and my mom said I should call you."
saying, "Hello, my name is Ann Marcus, and my mother said I had to call you."
And she said, "Oh, yeah, great, okay, well, sure."
And I got together with her.
And we hit it off.
And we've been friends for 35 years. In Boston, she had a Groundhog Day party. And it was just this little kind of tiny little thing. And it was good, but even she will admit it was like, you know, it was a tiny little party.
And then 17 years ago, to the day, I came up to her Groundhog Day party, threw in the towel on my own party down there. And the next day, a little bit hungover, Mara and Philip and her brother Garrett and I all went driving around looking at houses because they've been nagging me to come up for a long time, and we were just having fun. We were looking at houses, and we got to the 3rd house, and I said, "Yeah, how do you figure out if you're gonna buy a house or not? You know, how do you know it's the right house?" And he said, "You'll know." So we got to the 4th house, and I walked in, and I said, "The couch has to go, but I'll take it." And the next thing I knew, I bought a house up here, and I was moving to Portland. And in fact, I got on the plane going back to the Bay Area, kind of realizing what I'd done. And I said to this young kid sitting next to me on the plane, "Guess what I did this weekend?" He said, "What?" "So I bought a house." He goes, "Oh, that's nice." I said, "No, you don't understand. I came up here for a party, and I bought a house." And he said, "Well, it must have been some party."
Most of the time that I can remember, we've had the Bill Murray movie playing somewhere in the house on constant repeat. And either we or someone else makes like 10 pounds of mac and cheese that there's a baseline for the potluck element of it. Costumes appropriate to it, certain songs that always come out, parody songs.
One of the long histories about this party is that there is a performance aspect to it. For 20 years we've been reinventing songs to have to do with the groundhog. So we have some song books, not enough for everybody, so you all have to cuddle up with somebody you don't know and make sure that you're singing.
You can dress up if you want. You don't have to. There's no pressure on you. You can do whatever you want. You can do art. You can sing songs. You know, my specialty, I mean, I used to do posters. I've done all sorts of things. Everybody does something to add to the party.
And then if anybody has a song that they have brought or that they have done before and they want to get up here, I will be calling for people and you just come on up and make it so. Songs are all groundhog specific. And ideally having something to do with the hogpocalypse. So Maliki, I know, has a good one that will be both. But she's doing something there. So, let me see. Trying to decide. There are chords in this. Who is here and can play guitar?
searching for a hog of gold, and it's getting old. They keep me searching for a hog of gold, and it's getting old. Jackie. Searching for a hog of gold, and it's getting old.
Us and the Varmints from Mars. And
the year before Bowie, yeah.
Next year Bowie died. This year we called Hogpocalypse, and this happened.
We created a Hogpocalypse.
Yeah.
All right.
So
this is
Trump will die.
all right. Here is a song from the 50s that Gordon brought to my attention when bluegrass singers were trying to figure out what was the deal with atomic power. All right. Do you fear this man's invention that they call atomic power? Are we all in great confusion? Do we know the time or hour when a terrible explosion may ring down upon our land, leaving horrible destruction, blotting out the hearts of man? Oh, are you ready for that great atomic power? Will you rise and meet your savior in the end?
Crawl out through the fallout, baby, when they drop that bomb. Crawl out through the fallout with the greatest of aplomb. When your white count's getting higher, hurry, don't delay. I'll hold you close and kiss those radiation burns away. Crawl out through the fallout, baby, to my loving arms. Through the rain of strontium-90.
There's young people upstairs. There's kind of like the main floor of people, and that's where the music is. And I mean, I'll be doing the song later with some help from my friends. And then there's downstairs where a lot of the younger people go, and they bring musical instruments and jam. I mean, it just, you know, it just kind of goes on and on.
Happy Groundhog Day! Woo! This song is kind of a love song. And I'm going to dedicate it to Garrett.
all right, Garrett. Hey, Garrett.
It's a sing-along. So it's based on the girl from Ipanema. Short and brown and young and furry, the hog from Punxsutawney goes scurrying, and when she passes, each one she passes goes ah. When she walks, she smells so rotten, her stench hits me like a neurotoxin, and when she passes, each one she passes goes ooh, ooh. Oh, but I watch her so sadly. How can I get my scent close to her? Yes, I would smell her so gladly. But each day she climbs from her home, she treats me as if I'm a mole.
Song, where are
one should dare to dream really do come.
Everybody say. Okay, now we're gonna line kids up. Let's give it a minute because stay under the cover for a second more. All right, everybody say pinata. Pinata.
We had the whack-a-marmot that Garrett insisted we had trademark around everything. Whack-a-marmot, which is the pinata that every year a different group of kids makes, and they whack it and it's filled with candy and rubber snakes, and then we hoist it onto a fringed gurney that people hold aloft, which is for Marmot Gras, and then they march around the neighborhood screaming and making noise.
Okay, I didn't hear you last time. 1, 2, 3. That was better. That was better. But you know, I want it from here. Right from here, okay? Who's been told to be quiet in the last couple of months? Like, don't talk so loud. Use your inside voices. Okay, forget that. Say it again. 1, 2, 3. I want big guys in the back. I want tiny people in the front. Okay, Tiny, you're in the front. Okay. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do a line here. Big guys back there. Little guys in the front. Mabel, you're on. Oh, we don't. Who's got a blindfold? Jeff, give me your blindfold. Okay. Now, everybody say. Get right up in there. 1, 2, 3. Hit it. 2, 3.
One year, I have a very vivid memory a number of years ago about when we were doing the piñata and some of the kids were off to the side, sort of taunting and chanting to encourage, and the kid who was swinging at it just turned right towards them and took 3 rapid swings, walking in their direction. And that was, I am startled no one lost teeth.
There. Both hands up there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
The song in honor of the great Whistlepig.
went really, really well.
Yeah.
You know, every year there's sort of the craziness in the lead up, and you know, it's a lot of work. And but then the minute the party starts, I check out. Then it's just going to do what it does.
Yeah.
Philip has to keep working because he's dealing with all the food. So it's, you know, every single year it's different, and you don't know kind of what the flavor's going to be. And then there was a ton of new people.
There were a lot of new people.
Lots of
this
new
year,
people,
it's
which
true.
is really fun, because when you have a party this weird, sometimes you worry that, you know, people that are new and walking into it will kind of just not quite know what the gig is. You know, it's not just our party.
It stopped being our party, like was it the third or the fourth year?
Yeah.
When we really didn't feel like having it, and you know, it was only the third or the fourth year. And
So we didn't
there
send
was a bunch of
invitations.
stuff going on, you know, Garrett was in the hospital, and you know, it just not a good time for us. And we didn't send invitations. We didn't. I think we sort of had a sense that, like, well, some people might still show up because they're used to coming, and so we, you know, kind of cooked a little food and just sort of wondered if people would show up, and it was as big as it had been the year before. Like,
Yeah.
It's not our party anymore. It's just sort of out of our control. It happens. We just
Hogs happen, man.
Hogs happen.
Hogs just happen. Hello, morning. We're doing an interview.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have any of you seen my phone?
That's another one.
Oh,
We'll talk about the things that people leave.
Things that people leave.
Just
or
wander
have left.
around. I think people were starting to put things that are found in. Just look on all the surfaces.
Yeah. What color?
White. It's a white phone case.
Okay, it'll show up. We'll just keep digging out. There are homemade cinnamon rolls that somebody left. Somebody showed up with the foresight
Yeah.
to have a great time at the party and leave us a little pack of homemade cinnamon rolls with a note saying, warm these up in the morning.
Yeah.
How great is that?
Yeah.
Talk about public health.
Yep.
Also, we woke up this morning, and I woke up to my phone ringing because the woman who takes Grendel for the party, because he's just a little too much dog for the party, she called to say, I think I need to bring Grendel home. And then I came downstairs, and there was one neighbor out on the porch cleaning up, and you know, we came down one year, and there was a whole platoon of neighbors, like all sweeping everything up and putting everything away and taking all the recycling away, and you know, so that's what we mean. It's not just our party.
Yeah.
It's this it feels very collective and communal. We're already planning the next year's theme. Like that's
Yeah. Picking the theme is the.
I think I'm feeling pretty good about cowboy.
Oh.
We haven't really done a cowboy. Coming to a place where suddenly you're like, hey, you're here, you're in. You know, it's a club that doesn't take much to join. So. Just a scent gland and a smile, baby.
Yeah.